Good morning, everybody. I am out in the shop today. It is Saturday morning, and one of the things I want to do today is kind of work on the bespoke blank I was working on, the low tool bespoke blank, or the easy entry level bespoke blank, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure yet. I've got my notes from the first one I made, and I need to go back through and make a couple of more, refine those notes. I need to get them on the computer so that they're easy to work with, and just basically figure that out before I decide to share it with the world. And the more I think about it, I think there's one of three options, okay? And there could be a combination of these. I've been asked to do a demo at a pin show. I may do the low buck bespoke at the pin show the very first time. And then afterwards follow up with, say, a live or or a regular video. I may do something else for my demo at the pin show and just go ahead and do a YouTube live for the bespoke pin and follow up with a video. Or I may just do a video. I'm not sure yet. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'd kind of like to do a live. It'd be kind of fun. I haven't done one in a while, but I'm going to need somebody in the shop to kind of help, because while you're working and focusing, it's tough to see the questions that people have. And that's the beauty of doing the live, is when people ask questions, you can kind of respond, and it's almost like a training session, right? So I got to kind of work out these details, but I got time because I'm nowhere near ready to show it yet. I've got to experiment and get better at it because there are little things that, you need to kind of dial in. And that's what I'm going to work on today. I'm hoping to make one more today, start to finish. If I'm lucky, dial it in a little bit and see what else we can get into. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity around the shop. I will tell you guys, I will not be using my heater today. I really need it because it's cold out here. But yesterday, the heater was putting off a little bit of black smoke, and it set off my smoke detector. So you might have noticed in the video that I had my window open to let the fumes out of here. And last night, I guess after breathing that kerosene smoke, man, I had a rough night sleeping last night. I was so congested. So this is not going to get turned on today until I get a chance to go out, hopefully later this evening or tomorrow, and get a new wick for it. And we're going to replace that wick. Usually every year you need to replace the wick because, they get kind of charred around the top. And then as they get shorter, then they tend to smoke a little bit. And it's time to get that done. So no heat today. We're going to do this in the natural weather. Remove the refill from this pen because I'm going to make another one. I've got my handwritten notes here, and I have transcribed those onto my computer, minus the drawings and the dimensions. I'll work on those later when I have some time. That's a good evening project, when you pull up some type of a software and design in it. So that'll be an evening project so that I can attach those to my notes. But since this is the first one that I made, now that I have my notes transcribed, we're going to start at the top, and one line at a time, we're going to go down just like we did with the bespoke for the section body and the cap of that. And we are going to make another one of these. I'm going to grab a blank and we're going to get started. And one thing I want to say is you look at this and say, well, yeah, nice desk pen, whatever. The thing you can do is this is still around 15 millimeters. It's right at 15 millimeters. You could always turn that down a little farther because there's plenty of room in there, plenty of thickness. I'll show you. And what you could do is thread the outside of this and place a cap on it. Look how much thickness there is there. So you could turn that down to 13 millimeters. And if you were to purchase an M13 1 tap and die, single start, which would be cheap, you could thread this and you could get an M13 1 single start tap, and you could create a cap to go over this and tap the inside of it. So you can literally make a full pin, if you want to make one that uses a Cross, a Parker, or a Schmidt refill. And that's really what this is for. It's to let people get into this cheaply. And the most expensive things you'll probably buy are your taps and dies. And quite honestly, if you're buying M10-1 and M13-1 or M13.8 single starts, you're not talking a whole lot of money. So I think people can get into this pretty inexpensively, see if they like it. And then if they do, they can start buying all the other fun tools that you need to really make some serious bespoke pens. But I don't know, I think a guy with a little ingenuity could make some seriously cool bespoke pens just going this route. What do you think? I'm making really nice progress. This is my section, and I've got it drilled. I've got it a tenon on it. I've got it threaded, it's ready to go. I just made a mark here. This is exactly the length of the tenon from here to here. So we're going to start shaping this, and then when it's the proper shape, we'll part it off. I just parted off my section. It looks pretty good. You can see that the hole does not protrude to the end of the blank, and that's because there is a 1/8 inch section here where the parting tool basically made my mark, so I knew where to turn to. And when I turn this 1/8 inch section off the end of this blank, it will open up the hole for the nib of the pin refill. So this is perfect. It's looking pretty good. I have got the section piece in the body, and I've got everything smoothed out to where it's nice transition. I'm going to go ahead and start shaping this with some sandpaper and cleaning up any of the tooling marks. Take a look at this, guys. Coming along nicely. Just need to get the body blank turned to diameter, and we've got a nice pin. I like how this is working. Probably make at least one more, then I got to decide what I'm going to do next. I just finished turning my bespoke pin on a very tight budget. And this pin, you might look at it and say, well, okay, you know, is it really a bespoke pin? Well, yes, it is a bespoke pin. It's nothing but a rod of plastic. The only thing purchased was the refill. And most people are purchasing nibs when they're doing the fountain pen ones as opposed to making their nibs. So I think this qualifies. Now, it doesn't have a cap, and that is a roller ball. It's going to get all over your hands. But for a very small investment of an M13, we'll even say M13-1 tap and die to get you started, because that will be dirt cheap. You could thread this body, and you could make a cap using the same method that I'm using to make this, and we could put a cap on here, and then it's a capped bespoke pen, and you're not going to get ink everywhere. For now, it's just a desk pen. I am going to be working to form the cap, but at this point, I've proven out that it can be done, and I don't know. I'm going to show everybody how to do it at some point, but I think what's going to happen is I've got demos. I've been asked to do a demo at pin shows, and I think I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold it tight to the vest for now, and I'm going to demo this process at the pin shows, and after the pin shows are done, then we're going to do a bunch of videos on bespoke on a budget. What do you think? Well, I am truly very happy. I wanted to test this out today. Like I said, I typed my notes up. The only thing I need to do is get my notes together on dimensions and things like that. And I just need to put it into some software that I have and draw it all up so that I can add it. But it worked. I made a few minor modifications to my my notes that made the process easier and made the process better. And man, I'm super stoked about this. Next up, I'll be back out here tomorrow, and I do have an M13-1, and I say M13-1, when I generally cut threads for a cap and body, I use M13.8 triple start, and a triple start is so much nicer. It's so much quicker to put your cap on and take it off, and those fine threads look so nice. But if you're just starting out and want to find out if you like it, it's pretty cheap to buy an M13-1 tap and die, and you can use those to get started. And it's good enough, because I'm going to tell you, in the bespoke market, you are not going to sell pins right away like some people get away with in the kit market, because it takes a, the people who are paying for those pins are really scrutinizing your work. And they're looking, they don't want any scratches, they don't want any flaws. They want the pin to be gorgeous. Now, they understand wabi-sabi, right? And wabi-sabi is perfect in its imperfection. So there can be an imperfection, but they're not going to take shoddy work, and they're not going to pay a decent price for it. So you really need to practice, and using cheaper taps and dies that, take a long time to thread on. You're going to learn how to tap. You're going to learn how to cut threads. That's what's important. And then when you finally get a little better at it and you're ready to start making them and maybe selling them or whatever, giving them away, then you can take the time to, or spend the money to purchase really good quality triple start taps and dies. But this is going to let people try this out and see if they like it. And that's what I'm after. I want more people to have this opportunity, because people told me, Bob, you have to use metal mandrels. You cannot use mandrels made from acrylic. So now that you know that you can only use mandrels made of brass or aluminum or steel, you could see why this mandrel here would not have worked on 2 pins. Not 1 pin, but I got 2 out of it, and there's no damage on it. So guess what? I'm going to get 3 out of it, maybe 4, maybe 5. I'll eventually have to remake it because it'll wear out and break, but it's something that I can make on my lathe with my tools, and I don't have to spend any money. So like I said, you're not going to see this right away because I do want to share it at the shows. I got to have something that people coming to the show are going to want to see. And a demo is always a difficult thing to come up with. But now that I've got this will bring people into my demo, and I'll share it with them, and you'll probably start seeing it online before I ever even get around to doing it, because people are going to go back and try it, and they're going to pop it out there, and it's going to look like it's theirs. But you know what? I really don't care. It's not that big of a deal. And then again, I may break down and do a video beforehand, because a lot of times people just want to see things real time. They want to see it as you do it. That way they can say, oh, well, there's no smoke and mirrors, there's no tricks. And there's really no smoke and mirrors or no tricks here. Basically, it's just pretty darn simple, and I'm excited about it. So guys, that's it for me. I'm calling it a night. I'm going to make a post on Instagram, show this little pin that I just made, and then I'm going to go in the house. I'm going to edit some video. I'm going to take some photos. I'm going to get a shower, eat some dinner, just kick back, relax, enjoy the rest of the evening. And I will be back out here most of the day tomorrow, which is Monday, and I'll be shooting some video footage for you guys then. So hopefully we'll have a great time tomorrow. Take care. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you again very, very soon.